Hello and welcome everyone to a new devlog about my plugin Nell and its development. I just decided to give it a massive visual overhaul. Now it has these glitchy moments all over the place because I decided that it should not look reasonable anymore. Just kidding. This video is actually about a little debugging tool built into the Juce framework. When you go to the producer and you go to the modules and then to Juce GUI basics, then you can enable Juce enable repaint debugging. And what that does is it shows you whenever there is a repaint call on one of your components by drawing a new color into the background. As you can see, when I'm moving over the depth, nothing changes. But when I change its value, then the background changes because obviously we need a new repaint call for that. But there is something weird about this. You have probably seen it already. The pop-up display, which shows the value of the current parameter, repaints constantly even when there is nothing changing about it. So the question is why? So I go to the timer callback and I could just try changing the FPS for now and see if that does anything, like 2 FPS. Now we should have only 2 repaints per second maximum. And it's true. It repaints only 2 times per second now. So this is really where to look at. Actually, let's put it to 12 because 24 is a bit much for something that is not that important. Now we can just check at which point something weird happens. We have a repaint call in here and a repaint call in here. So maybe it would make sense to actually ask if anything has changed. If get bounce is not new bounce, only then we want to set new bounce. This is a little bit sad because the set bounce method already has such a check in it in here. And now I have it kind of twice in the code. But I have to do it like that because I have set buffered image true, which means I have to manually call repaint and set bounce will not automatically repaint the component. So I have to do that here. Now let's put the same check in here. Of course, this time I'm using the constraint bounce. Now let's see if that worked. Now it works that we only have one paint call for entering a new parameter, and then that was basically it. But the parameter value does not update anymore. So apparently we have to add another condition in our timer callback, which is the string itself. At the moment it is done in the paint call that I get utils pop up, but I should probably have a little string in here for the pop-up as well. Now I'm always drawing the pop-up from there. And in my timer callback, I have to make sure to change it if it has changed. Now let's just see where we have to put it. Utils, pop-up updated. If the pop-up has updated, that means we have a new pop-up, which means we could put that here. So if this didn't make it visible, then we can return. Else the index will increment. This is basically a little timer that will make it invisible after some amount of time defined by the duration. If the pop-up point is 0, so basically an unspecified pop-up point, which means that is linked to a parameter, then stuff happens and repaint. And else we have a free pop-up point that just follows the mouse cursor. Oh, it was the other way around. This is the one with the mouse cursor. But the thing is, we have to make sure that this already registers that later there will have to be a repaint. So what I'm going to do now is I will take away the pop-up updated equals false thing from here and instead put it at the end of this thing. Because that means that I can now ask for it here. Like this. All right, this should work. Great. So I now fixed the repaint issue and reduced the repaint calls a lot by using the macro called Juce enable repaint debugging. And since the producer is such a nice little tool, I can just go here and put it back to default disabled and then enjoy my original graphics again. There we have it. The original graphics are back. Everything works again. And I know that the repaint calls now work much better as well. So I have more resources for other stuff. I must say, this is a very powerful feature of Juce, and it's kind of sad that there is no tutorial about it, so that you have to stumble upon it on accident by just reading stuff in the Juce forum. But that also shows how powerful the Juce forum is. You can just go there every day and read what all the other people are writing, and sometimes you read something that makes you wonder, and then you will just learn some new little tricks. And this video should show you that you can actually go to the Juce modules, something that I did not even know myself, and just play around with all these macros that they provided for you and see if anything of that gives you some interesting capabilities for your debugging process or stuff like that. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, give me a lot of money, and have a nice day or evening or something like that.